Inflation. Hey, welcome to My People's Truth, where every Friday my podcast dives into the untold stories, unfiltered struggles, and the different experiences that Black people go through in today's society. I'm your host, Ayana Johnson, and we're here to confront the uncomfortable head on. Is Gen Z about to overtake baby boomers in the workforce? I'm giving you the statistics off of the research that I've done off of the websites, and the links are in the description, of course, and you can go through them and see for yourself. But I'm giving you the facts from what I've researched and what I've seen. Generation Z will make up a larger portion of the U.S. workforce than baby boomers for the first time, according to a December 5th report from CNBC based on a forecast report from job search website Glassdoor. There's been a big take on how the older generation seems to want to get on Gen Z's case, or the younger generation's case, about being lazy and not wanting to work, when I just gave you the fact that that's not true. We do take over a larger portion of the workforce. Gen Z dollars today have 86% less. I'm going to say that again. Gen Z has 86% less purchasing power than those from when baby boomers were in their 20s. So I'm in my 20s right now, and I'm going to tell you right now, I make $22.50 an hour. Okay? $22.50 an hour. The average apartment here where I live is $1,300. So I did all the math. I can afford $1,000. That's the max. The max I can afford for an apartment is $1,000. I could show you the math, break it down. Just take notes, whatever. So, say the apartment is $1,000. That means I'll be making around $3,200 to $3,800 a month, roughly, after taxes and all that. So, and my job pays every 2 weeks. So if I were to actually doing the max of what I could afford, $1,000, utilities, water, electric, internet, trash. Let's just take out the whole security deposit moving fee thing. Let's just say I already moved in. Then you have food. That's another, for 2 weeks, that's like another $250, because food is expensive now. Gas, the current gas now, it went up to $3.40 something. So it's $3.40 something per gallon. So gas every 2 weeks, it's about $80 in gas. Then, and my job is about 20 to 25 minutes away, depending on traffic. So that's another $80 in gas, plus my phone bill. That's another $100 for my phone bill, because I have Verizon. Then on top of that, the car insurance. Luckily, my mom I only have to pay her $100 for the car insurance, and my pet insurance, health insurance, and dental insurance, all that is about another $100 something. There's probably other stuff that I forgot to mention, but round all of that down, at the end of the 2 weeks, even if I took all the money out and then split the payments up, I would only have about $100 to $200 at the max, live off of the $200 for another 2 weeks. So at the end of the 2 weeks, I would be struggling, basically screwed. I'm just giving you my math and what the situation is. That's with me. In order for me to not be struggling, I did the math, and the apartment will have to be between $900 and $950. Let's go back to this. Now it says the cost of public and private school tuition has increased by 310 and 245%, respectively, since the 1970s. You will most likely have way more student debt than people in the 1970s, which is horrible. Gen Zers and millennials are paying 57% more per gallon of gas than baby boomers did in their 20s. Meanwhile, the price of goods has skyrocketed in this time. The average CPI more than quadrupled from 38.8% to 172.2%. And CPI stands for Consumer Price Index. Let's go to the wages. It says wages declined by 7.5% between 2000 and 2010. The Consumer Price Index, CPI, rose by over 25% as the country dealt with the 2008 economic recession, right? Incomes couldn't keep up with the cost of living, of course, which hindered young people's ability to save money and make typical purchases for their stage of life. So like I said, I'm 23, almost 24, make $22.50 an hour, and I cannot afford a 1-bedroom apartment. I'll be struggling to afford a 1-bedroom apartment for where I live right now, with gas being high, groceries being high, health insurance, car insurance, phone bill, all of that. And I'm not a person that just willy-nilly spends my money. I'm good with budgeting my money. And even when I cut certain things off, I still would not be able to afford an apartment by myself in 2024, which is so crazy to me. The only way I would be able to afford one is if I went into student housing, where it's like 4 people in one apartment and they have their own bedrooms and bathrooms. That's the only way. But who wants to live with somebody else that they don't know? It's a stranger. Like college, but not. Like what? As of 2022, the national CPI has increased by over 500% since 1970, while wages have only increased by 80%. And though unemployment fluctuated quite a bit over that time, the rates were still lower in the 2020s than in 1970. What that means is there were more unemployed people in the 1970s than they were in 2020. So the fact of older people saying, oh, we're lazy and we don't want to work, and there are people that are unemployed everywhere. One, even though nobody's hiring, all the jobs are being stingy with when they're hiring people, there are still less people unemployed right now than there were in the 1970s. So we're not even going to get into how employers don't want to hire certain people, even if they have degrees and all that. I'm not going to get to, that's a whole separate video. The median rent is up 150%, which is, from 1970. That is a shame. Guess how much a home is now? The average home is about, it's like $300,000 or $400,000. Now, if that doesn't tell you something and you don't see what's going on, I don't know what to tell you. Everybody's struggling right now. It's like nobody can catch a break. I'm pretty sure you get the point. I'm your host, Ayana Johnson, on My People's Truth. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next Friday.